I'm vengeance.
Hello and welcome everyone to BLB's official DC Fandome announcement ranking. I am Tanner Dykstra. I'm joined by my compatriots Abram Buhner and Tucker Hazel. We've just caught up on all the biggest announcement at this year's DC Fandome, and we're here to tell you what we liked, what we didn't like, what were the hits, and what were the pits of this DC
Whoa, look at that
Fandome
little bit of rhyming
event.
scheme going on here.
If you
That's an
want
that's an
more,
A B rhyme scheme. I
if
don't
you
know what
want
I'm
more
talking
rhyming schemes like that, you should subscribe to Backlog Banter. You should join our little Discord channel. You should like this video because it's gonna be a great video. We might not be the hottest or the highest on DC Fandom, but we're gonna break down all the biggest stuff and probably in descending order. Get the hot stuff up top. We've all caught up, I believe. So I'm just gonna go with what is probably the most exciting and biggest announcement of this whole
about.
event.
Shebang.
Shebang. Thank you, Tucker.
Yes.
And that is the
I'm here
second
for the
trailer
vocabulary.
for Matt Reeves' The Batman.
Yes. Now, is it Reeves's? Is that how we're supposed to pronounce
I think
that?
his name is Matt
as
Reeves.
Yes.
yeah,
He is multiple Reeves.
sure.
Reeve.
That's a good point.
Reeve.
Reeve.
Fuck it. Point is, this movie looks fantastic.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
This trailer's so fucking cool. I have a reaction that hasn't been edited yet, but I got goosebumps watching that because I'm like, this is like the kind of almost like dark artsy version of Batman that I always love seeing in the comics that also has sort of like a, campiness going on in the background, but it's so much dark, like light up with fire and shots from guns and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, the fucking Batmobile coming out of the flames. I'm like, yes.
Now, that's an interesting interpretation, Tucker, because I see no camp and I see no mysticism in this movie, personally. And for me, that's largely why it's interesting. I feel like The Dark Knight is kind of this peculiar, like, Christopher Nolan middle ground between like this super serious Batman and the more ridiculous Batman. I'm Batman, all kinds of stuff, right? What Matt Reeves, this is a fucking scary trailer. This is a hold your baby blanket and watch the movie type of trailer. And I find that really interesting. The shot of him, black shot, the two guys.
Is that a Catwoman reference?
Oh!
The two guys unloading with their assault rifles on Batman.
Yeah, very strong and very fast guns just into Batman.
That is the only light source, and
Yes,
he
exactly.
is just walking towards them. That is what this movie is, and that is fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
that is awesome.
I think what I was sort of getting at is that one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of modern Batman by mostly extension created by the Nolan trilogy is that those films have a sense of reality that doesn't really play into anything that makes comic books special. It's just strong guys or guys that are kind of crazy and they're doing crimes, guys. But when you see this movie and you're watching this trailer and he's getting shot in the chest way too many times for any individual of any possible strength, human-wise, to end up living. The Penguin is cracking jokes. You see a question mark in the Riddler's coffee. Like it's leaning into these sort of weirder elements of Batman and not taking itself like all the way to the ground level of this is serious.
He has military tech. That's why he has the Batmobile and stuff like that. No, I want a cool, tricked out like 80s sports car that he turns into the Batmobile.
And he's doing detective stuff. He's not just a fucking boring rich guy. Like I think there's a balance here that leans into the detective side of Batman that I've always been more of a fan of, and the scary realism that hasn't really been touched on in other Batman movies.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna get that scary realism when you cast Paul Dano as a villain. Yes. Paul Dano is a fantastic, just creepo guy when you cast him in that role in movies, and that's what he's gonna be as the Riddler. He's got his little question mark in his coffee and stuff like that. We had the Catwoman reference. I do want to talk about Zoe Kravitz as
there's
Catwoman.
A lot of references to her in this trailer because she was.
I meant the cat in the back of your in the video earlier, Tucker, but. We got definitely more of her than we had gotten in previous trailers. She looks good. She looks like she's going to be a larger part of the movie than we were originally led to believe. She might be like sort of a compatriot, as sort of a constant meetup for Bruce Wayne while he's Batman and while he's being Bruce Wayne. To that end, I listened to a bit of the interview before this trailer, and it seems like what Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves are going for is sort of a Batman and a Bruce Wayne who are sort of meshed a little bit. Like we were talking about the Nolan movies before, and that's very clearly like a regimented, like Christian Bale is playing Bruce Wayne, and then he's playing Batman.
Sure.
But this interpretation of the character is kind of a one that he's blurring the lines a little bit. Like, he's Bruce Wayne, then he's Batman at the same time. He's weird and moody.
What I more see that as is that when he's Bruce Wayne, he's still like he's being a fucking Batman guy. Yeah, and that's kind of probably kind of nice to see, especially for like consistency's sake, and pulling out that performance from our Bat and Bat, as we are used to calling him.
Yes, well, as everyone calls him.
Yeah, so I like that. I think that's an interesting way to take the character. And Tucker, I totally agree with what you said after you spoke that second time. I totally get where you're coming from, because the Nolan movies are, I think, far cheesier in a sense than this is.
I don't think they realize they're cheesy though.
No, I don't.
Yeah, it's like he's doing the that stuff. It's like, but no, that's real serious, guys. Don't laugh at that.
I think
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I hate to say it, but I think I've cooled down on that Nolan trilogy just as I've cooled down on Nolan as a director in general. But I think what I like about this, and as you were saying, Tucker, is that it is far more comic booky, but I think that comic booky element is matched with an actual darkness and a realism, not in terms of, oh, he can only be shot X number of times or whatever. But in terms of, this is like a gritty, gross, Batman is heavy, he punches heavily, this is a dark city and everything. And it is this more than The Dark Knight, which takes influence from a lot of Batman comics, but ends up just feeling like a crime drama in a lot of respects. This, you can very clearly, if you're familiar with Batman Year One, if you're familiar with The Long Halloween, you can see precisely where the influence is coming from, and it's influences from what I think are the best pieces of Batman storytelling in comics. So trailer was fantastic.
Yes.
Best part of DC Fandome easily.
I'd say probably my most hyped, for sure. And yeah, like Tucker and Abram, you just said, by a wide margin, because up next we probably have the second biggest thing that came out of this, which is our first trailer for the Flash movie. Well, it's like a teaser more. I guess.
Now the thing I watched was over half the video was Ezra Miller being like, guys, well, we're still working on the movie. We don't actually have enough footage to make a trailer. Even though this thing's been in production hell for like 45 years, we still don't have enough footage to make a trailer. Oh yeah, and it's releasing next year. Bye. And here's like 30 seconds of a trailer voiced by Michael Keaton.
I wanted.
What the fuck was that?
By the way, Tucker, thank you for watching that version, because I was conversing with Tanner, who had not seen
I just watched the trailer itself.
Presentation that Ezra Miller gave prior to the trailer.
It was really weird.
He is a weird man. He is a weird man.
But I think the problem with it is, like, yeah, we know he's weird. Yeah, he's obviously playing the Flash. We know him externally being a fucking strange individual. But putting him as like the face of this movie, of course he is the face of the movie, but using Ezra Miller as the person to like start your exciting segment about an exciting anticipated film where he's like, oops, guys, I'm just kind of quirky. It really knocked all the wind out of me. And also the trailer didn't really show much of anything. I don't think that costume looks good. Oh yeah.
There we go.
He talked for like
E-boy
50 seconds.
Little E-boy Ezra Miller here.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about this movie. I would go read Flashpoint. Okay. But I think the success of DC recently is that we are getting away from what the Flash movie is.
Yeah, which is tied to the DCEU.
Right. And I think that there's going to be a fun to the gimmick of, okay, yeah, I get it. It's Michael Keaton's cowl. I get it. Right. Yeah. There's multiple Flashes. I get it. But I'm gonna need to see a lot more than this to be convinced of this movie.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing that this movie can do, and this is all conjecture and prediction for what they're going for, is a rewriting of the DCEU, a rehashing. Clearly, that's what it's gonna be. I feel. And it's going to be interesting to see to what extent they take that, how far they're willing to revamp the DCEU to like maybe again try to catch up with Marvel and Disney with the MCU. But at the same time, like, you can make a compelling like group of films by just doing whatever, like with the Batman, with the Suicide Squad that we got earlier this year. You don't have to get tied. We don't have to have sequels to sequels and spin-offs and stuff like that. You can make a good group of films.
I think it's actually pretty. I definitely agree, and I really wish that they would just choose a lane, because there could be a compelling interconnected universe if they actually doubled down on that and had someone paying attention to what the fuck was going on in all these movies. But they've already fucked that up. They've been going for 7 years now, and it continues to spiral and continue to get fucking just weird tangents and weird things that contradict other things in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very peculiar to me which thread they're choosing to continue here. And the one saving grace, scarily enough, because this trailer was not good, could be Flashpoint for them to sort of make a realization, make an assessment to themselves that, yeah, this isn't working. Let's stir shit up in the pot, take what works, and make a universe, or have this be sort of a splintering thing where, okay, we're not going to have a core universe anymore, but you can take these tangents because they were connected to Flashpoint and say, yeah, Batman's here, Suicide Squad here, like all these things come off of it. I just want this to be, I want them to like look inwards and be like, we fucked up. We fucked up really bad. Let's just spend this movie making up for our fucking sins and making the future more clear.
Mm-hmm. This movie is just a microcosm for Warner Brothers' inability to manage DC in general.
And also DC's storytelling, where they do have, it's funny that it's actually kind of history repeating itself. This is exactly matching the comics, where they just try a bunch of stuff and they're like, this isn't fucking working. Outer space universe fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's a continuity reset, but it's a continuity reset that was railroaded by management changes and railroaded by COVID and railroaded by all these more auteur, and I hate to use that word in this context, but auteur films that are separate, that are given to these people to just do whatever the fuck they want with very little oversight, which I think is way better. But we're getting this in spite of that. So we'll see. It could be fun. I mean, we barely get to know the Flash. I think he is a lot better in Zack Snyder's Justice League than he was anywhere else. So that gave me a glimmer of hope.
Screen time.
But
well, yeah, that helps. That really helps.
That's the glimmer of hope. I think it'll be a gimmick, but could be a fun gimmick to have Michael Keaton's Batman back, to have him sort of be the parental figure of
the Batman beyond Batman,
the weird ass Flash that we're getting in this. But we haven't gotten almost anything from that character. So God, I hope this movie's good. I really like the Flash, one of my favorite DC heroes, but they're not doing him justice so far. So I really hope they can do something with this. But this trailer did not set my expectations in a particularly good way.
Do we actually want to talk about the content of the trailer at all? Because
what the fuck did they show? It was indescribable. It was anomalous.
I kind of like that suit. That kind of.
I don't.
The light up with the lines.
That's so fucking weird. Oh my god, it's so awkward and like, it feels like someone took puzzle pieces and pasted them onto his body.
That's fair.
I fucking hate it.
He's gonna have the ring that his suit goes inside of. Yeah. That'll be cool.
Okay, that's fun. That's fun. I like that. Barry Allen just having this. Hey guys, I just have this ring that has a Flash logo on it. Boink. I want to see how they do that.
There's two Flashes, and we see Supergirl. So they're like a universe hopping trio, I guess.
You see Supergirl?
Yeah. There's a shot where it's Ezra Miller, another Ezra Miller behind him, and then Supergirl to his right.
I thought those were just different Flashes. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Now the other one is Supergirl. I forget what the actress' name is, but yeah, she is.
Oh, it's a different Supergirl. That's right. Yes, that's right.
Does. But yeah, Michael Keaton Batman will be cool. I really feel bad for this movie because it's sort of getting the wind taken out of its sails by No Way Home with like, hey, we're taking these things from a prior iteration of this franchise and taking them into this one. And like, yeah, Spider-Man did that like a year ago.
Hey guys, you're late to the fucking party, even though development of this started before I was probably even born.
Yeah. Okay, what's next?
Peacemaker.
This is a terrible order.
God, well, here's the thing. We're not actually ranking them. We're kind of just discussing them, and I think at the end we can talk about what is the actual ranking of this. Because I think there's pretty clear tiers. Because unfortunately, Flash is very low, going to be very low on that.
Sure. Okay.
Speaking of, let's fucking talk about Peacemaker. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We didn't think about this beforehand, by the way. This is really fucking slapdash.
Speaking of splintering into doing whatever they want to do, James Gunn is taking the helm of this Peacemaker limited series for HBO Max. Comes out in January. That's very, very soon. And looks good. Looks fun. I like John Cena as Peacemaker. It looks quirky and funny. It's got that classic James Gunn, the Suicide Squad comedic flair to it. What do you guys think?
I mean, visually, it's not particularly interesting. It's also a TV show, so I don't really expect that from TV show quality stuff. But otherwise, I'm very excited to see this continued. This is probably the one I'm anticipating most imminently. I think Batman's obviously the highest quality and most exciting one, but this is coming out very soon. They just wanted to have a good time with it, so they're like, hey, let's do something, and they did it. And I think that's really fun. That it just like feels like they actually care to make this, because no one was anticipating this to happen. Gunn just had an idea for this, and they're like, "Fuck it, we'll record it. It'll be fun. It'll be fun."
Yeah.
And he's got a fucking bald eagle that is his friend. He's dancing in his underwear again. All that stuff is continuing that fun character that I really did enjoy in the Suicide Squad, and I'm excited to watch this. It'll be the first HBO Max show I'll ever have watched.
Wow, there you go.
You fucking watch any HBO Max shows?
Some.
True Detective is an amazing show.
What's that?
True Detective, but that's just an HBO show in general.
Oh yeah. Everyone
it's a show they put on HBO.
I didn't watch the trailer. Here's the thing, right? There is so much fucking superhero horse shit, and I love superheroes. I love comics, but at a certain point, if I try to make my personality being a fan of DC or Marvel, I'll have no time for anything else. And I didn't like Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. I didn't like Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. I don't really care about the show. I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to slowly let HBO Max siphon $15 a month out of my wallet for basically no good reason.
Okay. All right.
So you can possibly watch Dune again on it in 2 years.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Dune in IMAX. I don't even know why the fuck I'm maintaining my subscriction.
Well, you can watch it again. You have a month to watch it after
you watched Rocky on it last week.
That's true.
It's a great point. Rocky and Mutiny on the Bounty are really making that subscription worth it.
They're paying out dividends for the HBO Max subscription. Peacemaker looks fun. Okay. It's video game time. Let's talk about video game time. We've been talking about movies and TV for too long. It's video game time. The Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
No, you gotta take that. Drop the S. Just kill the Justice League.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's a command.
Oh, it's a command. The Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League.
Yes. That's from the mouth of Amanda Waller herself.
Yes.
First of all, the woman who plays Amanda Waller, does anyone have her name?
No. She looks familiar though. It's like an actual actress.
That's
correct?
what I wanted to say. She plays Sarah Junda in Jedi Fallen Order, who is Cal's master.
That's exactly where it's from. Jesus Christ! Yes,
she is becoming very, very famous for video game mocap and appearances. She is also in Wolfenstein 2 as a character named Grace, who is fantastic. Great there, great in Jedi Fallen Order. Perfect fit for the role of Amanda Waller. So that was a great thing to see.
Yes. But I think here's the thing. I'm interested in this game. I feel like a lot more than other people are. A lot of people are really crapping on the idea. And this is, I haven't looked at anything Fandome related on the internet except for these trailers. So I don't know how people reacted to this one. But when that trailer came out last year, people were like, great, the Justice League is bad. They're using the characters from the fucking movie, whatever. I think it's a fun idea. I think all the ideas are cool. But I think my real problem with this and extending to Gotham Knights is that they've kind of just shoehorned themselves into like 4-person like co-op open world superhero shenanigans. And also these trailers are just like trying their best to be like movie copies. And I just don't know if they're really exciting from that merit, because when you separate story trailer and gameplay trailer, it makes it feel like disparate. I really wish this was a trailer that had both elements. You could see how they interplayed, but just watching a Quarter of Owl story trailer is fine, but it just like, I don't know. I didn't get excited by this at all.
But think about like Breath of the Wild story trailer or whatever.
The story trailer was also gameplay. There was not a story only trailer. That's my point. You you just killed your own fucking point.
Because here's the thing, right? First of all, I don't give a fuck. Second of all, I think this game looks really interesting. My prediction right now, I'm gonna bet this key ring on it. Okay. I will graduate college before this game comes out.
Oh, okay.
And I will graduate in May 2023.
Wait, which one?
Yes.
Kill the Justice League.
Okay.
This game is not coming out next year. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you that for a fact.
Any specific reason why?
There has been no gameplay. So Court of Owls, I think, is different because there was an extended gameplay showcase for Court of Owls, and that was supposed to launch this year. It got delayed. And I want to talk about that in a second.
It's not even called Court of Owls.
I know it's called that. Fuck it up. We'll talk about it in a second. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We saw like dev camera in engine shit for like some monsters running amok, but this game clearly, I think, was already announced like probably 3 years too early back in 2020.
Yeah.
But then
as it seemed like a lot of these projects were, by the way.
Yeah.
This Fandome thing is not great for production.
There was I watched the live stream, and for the Harley Quinn the season 3 of the Harley Quinn animated show, they literally showed storyboards,
Of course it did. I mean,
like non-moving
Same with Black Adam,
storyboards.
basically.
No, well, there was some
We got-
footage that they had filmed for Black Adam.
We'll
Yeah.
get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
but also like Tanner and I were joking about it. They're like, "Hey, we're making a Batwoman movie. Here's a piece of concept art, and she's gonna have a cowl." Was the quote.
yeah,
So it's like whatever. But I think this story trailer for Kill Justice League looks great. I think the banter there seems really interesting. But ultimately, I do want to see gameplay, and
Yeah.
I should note that both of these games are fully scalable for single player or co-op play.
Mhm.
This
I
one is
know.
up to 4 players. Gotham Knights is 1 to 2 players, and it's just it's a
Is that
symptom
true?
of.
There's not 4-player with the 4 characters they have.
I don't think it's 4 player. Might
that
be.
seems like an oversight.
I mean, ultimately not really, because I don't think it's balanced that way. I don't think that's necessarily an issue.
It's not balanced to have all the characters playing together
Uh,
in the 4-person team that the game is designed around.
I want to say that I have very little interest in both these games. I was really they seem to be towing this, like, we can't stray too far from like the Arkham sort of feeling and mode of game too far. I was really hoping for like, oh, Rocksteady's working on another DC game. Okay, what's it gonna be? Because could be the Flash game. That'd be cool
Oh.
mechanically. Could be Superman. That'd be cool mechanically.
But they're just doing people with guns and.
But I don't think.
Yep.
I don't think this is true. I don't think this is true at all. Because in the case of WB Montreal's game, yes, absolutely. WB Montreal has their only other DC game prior to this was Arkham Origins. They
Yeah.
are the secondary team. They are the ones that work in the confines of what Rocksteady makes. This game obviously was supposed to come out a long time ago. They had a canceled project in the middle. This one, Gotham Knights, even though I'm probably more excited about it from a story perspective, because I think Court of Owls is one of my favorite Batman storylines, from a gameplay perspective, it's going to be co-op Arkham. That's what it's going to be.
Sure.
But Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is not only tonally very different from the Arkham games, it's got a different visual aesthetic to an extent while staying in the same sort of homogeny. But it also is more centered around gunfighting. And that is not what Arkham was by any stretch of the
fair.
imagination.
Sure. Yeah.
This game very much is not another Arkham game.
Well, one of the possible playable characters is
Sure,
one
but
out of 4.
but I don't think that undercuts the fact that it is a fundamentally different game than what Rocksteady made before.
Well, I think what he was getting at more is
Yeah.
from a conceptual level, being on the ground, fighting against thugs, probably, and like fucking
goop monsters or
human-sized
whatever.
creatures.
Yeah.
Is really not that far away. When you talk about the variety that the DC universe has to offer, when you could be Green
Sure.
Lantern making fucking whatever, or
Yeah.
Wonder Woman with the fucking whip and like all this stuff, they take this grounded approach that is pretty homogenous when compared to what they could be doing externally.
They've been doing the same, like, ground level Batman tangent characters for, like, the last 10 years, and I wish they would graduate from that.
Well, what I think that's the bigger issue there is that DC is not doing what Marvel is doing and giving their IP out to very
other
different
studios,
studios.
yeah.
That's fair.
Because I
Yeah,
don't
that's a good
necessarily
point.
think it's fair to expect Rocksteady to be able to pivot like that. They are the third person action studio. So I think in the confines of their skill set, this feels different enough than what they've made before.
Sure.
I think the larger issue is the fact that why doesn't DC resurrect Studio Japan so the people who made Gravity Rush can make a Superman game? It's shit like that. The point is we need to give these licenses to different teams who have different skill sets.
Maybe it's not fair to blame Rocksteady then. DC, get your grubby dragon hoarding hands off your properties and lend them out a little bit.
But also, why hasn't Rocksteady released a game since 2015? That's the other thing. And it's going to be probably 8 years between in my opinion, it's going to probably be 8 years between Arkham Knight and
What year was Arkham Knight?
2015.
Jeez.
Which I think is also why it feels a little bit like, oh, they're doing this thing. It's like, if that's a game that come out in like 2018, I think it probably would have felt differently. But
yeah, that's a good point.
But I still think it'd be fun, but also we're talking out of our asses because God forbid we saw gameplay for it.
Yeah, no. Those games, ultimately, they look fine. I'm not that excited for them, but whatever.
He's going to talk about fucking Court of Owls.
Can I
but
talk
he's
about-
not
Oh, I'm
discussing
sorry.
Doctor
Go ahead,
Strange.
Abram.
So Court of Owls, I think, is one of the best Batman storylines, period. The Scott Snyder's run in New 52 is probably one of the only, like,
Crossbreed
decidedly...
between Zack Snyder and Scott Wozniak, by the way.
Yes. Scott Snyder's Batman run in New 52 is one of the decidedly good New 52 books when there a lot of them were not. And those first two volumes about Court of Owls and the interstitial about all the different Bat family members dealing with Court of Owls are fantastic. It's a source material that was kind of, I believe, invented for New 52. So we have not seen it elsewhere. I've seen it in films, I've seen it in games.
Yeah.
So I think having that be the narrative thread is at least going to feel a bit different than having the Arkham Knight, who is just Jason Todd, who is just Red Hood. Again,
Yes.
it's gonna. I think that's gonna give it a unique flavor, even if the gameplay is, Tanner, as you're saying, more Arkham. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Also, this does not take place in the same Batman Arkham universe, correct?
One of them doesn't. I don't remember which one.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true. That's true.
I think it makes no sense because Gotham Knights doesn't take place in that universe, even though Batman is dead in both universes, but they don't take place in the same universe.
Does
Yeah, it was
Gotham
some
Knights
weird-
take place in the Arkhamverse? Gotham Knights doesn't take place in the Arkhamverse, and there's one clear way it can distinguish itself from the Arkham games. Ellipses. Okay, I'm not clicking into that article. But I guess we'll never
Okay.
know.
I think Commissioner Gordon is
answer.
also dead. He's dead in both, and they're not set in the same universe. Why? Who's to say? I don't know. Regardless, does anyone have anything else to say about the video games?
No, it's disappointing that we didn't see gameplay
Yeah.
for Kill Justice League, because that's what could really turn me around. Of course, I'm especially talking out my ass about this game because we haven't seen the gameplay. It could actually be very different, but they're just holding it back. So I'm just talking conceptually. But I like the idea of fighting the Justice League and having those be the boss fights in an open world or whatever. Like fighting the Flash and Green Lantern and stuff like that's going to be a lot of fun. They'll be very disparate in terms of boss fights. So on that level, I'm much more excited for it than most people are.
We can hope that they will be very disparate.
I'm more excited for this than Guardians of the Galaxy, which we have to decide if we're going to review because that comes out in like a week.
Oh yeah, it's true, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that privately. But
That'll
publicly,
come out in
in
fucking
this-
40 years. So
publicly in this video, we need to go back to movie talk. I'm gonna Black Adam and Shazam. Which one are we feeling? We saw equally little from both of them.
didn't watch the Fear of the Gods thing.
Oh, it's fine. There's no footage or anything like that.
I did, but my eyes glazed over because I didn't even watch the first Shazam movie.
Okay. Let's talk about Black Adam then, because I think it's cool. I am actually kind of excited for this with all the characters that they're bringing in. They got Dr. Fate, they got Atom Smasher, they got Hawkman, they got other Cyclone. Thank you, Tucker. I think it's cool, and Dwayne the Rock Johnson will probably be playing not a The Rock character where he's like, hey, isn't it funny that I'm big and muscly or whatever? He's gonna be playing a villain, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Jungle Cruise proved to me that I think The Rock should just be himself all the time.
Okay, all right, Aaron.
And but he has been. I think that's the thing. But,
yeah.
Okay, this one I'm pretty interested in. It's been a really weird rollout we got the announcement of a while ago. We knew The Rock was tied to it. We knew it was sort of a passion project. Then there was Fandome last year where they showed the concept art, and then this year where for 75% of the showing it was the same concept art and him saying this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to show you guys it. And then what the actual new content was, that short teaser was fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, he does Mortal Kombat shit. He's coming out there with his fucking hood and he melts a guy's fucking body off. It's crazy. And it's like he's floating up in the air. All of that looks awesome. And I'm really excited to see how this is played out, because what they're doing with mashing all these characters in and stuff, it's like this could be overstuffed. It could be a little bit weird. It's hard to tell what the film is about, really. But from that short thing, unlike The Flash, this got me very excited to see more.
Yeah.
Go for it, Tanner.
I was gonna say it could be. There's two different routes that I think it could go, and both are equally interesting in my mind. Where you have is it the Justice Society? Is that the team that he's going against?
JSA.
The JSA. It could be a dual telling. It could be us getting to know the team, and then Black Adam rising from the grave or whatever, and them inevitably meeting at some point. Or it could be following Black Adam and our protagonist being someone who's actively fighting and killing a superhero team, which would be also super interesting.
Yeah.
I think both sound really good. I thought the trailer the minute 10 seconds of footage they had to show us was interesting. It didn't really do a whole hell of a lot for me personally. I like that it's a different tone. But I'm mostly interested in the movie because of characters like Dr. Fate and Hawkman, who are really awesome and don't get the play that they deserve. So that's why I'm excited to see the movie.
Yeah.
But I will say, one thing I do want to say about Shazam is that they said in the vignette of behind the scenes stuff that this movie is going to be a spectacle, and it was just really nice to hear that we're going to get a superhero movie that's also a spectacle action film.
Oh wow, that really
That's
stepping out of the box there. I enjoy that. Thank you,
I,
David F. Sandberg.
I will say one thing. I think that the fandom as a whole, and these two trailers in particular, are emblematic of the fact that COVID really fucked up the DC production pipeline.
Oh yeah,
Because
we're getting essentially the same stuff
Yeah.
we got last year.
because a lot of these movies are supposed to be out by now, right?
Yeah.
These movies
Or
were supposed to have been, or they were announced like 5 years ago, and then we didn't hear about them for a long time. And they're like concept art, and then this year they're like mostly concept art.
I remember the good old days when we were supposed to get a Cyborg and Green Lantern movie in 2019. I remember those good old days.
No, it was. I
The
saw
Flash
it.
was supposed to
really
come out in
liked
2018.
it. Remember when we reviewed that 3 years ago?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
when
a
we
good
talked
movie.
about the good Cyborg movie that came out, and then Green Lantern was just awful. You guys remember that? Oh god. Shazam looks cool. It's fun. I
Does
like
it?
the first Shazam.
Couldn't tell. Didn't
Couldn't tell you. It's got Rachel Zegler in it. That's good. She's gonna be in
Oh,
West
I know
Side Story.
her.
Yeah, West Side Story. Oh Lord.
And on top of this, there's so much just horse shit around the
Yeah.
fucking perimeter. They showed so much crap today, and not necessarily that it's all going to be bad. There could certainly be interesting things in there, but it's just an overload. And I do think that fandom is detrimental to the excitement and interest in all these projects because it increases the obviousness that this is very samey and they're just doing so many fucking projects. Holy shit. They showed off Abram. A new Star Fox game, basically. A crypto super dog flying through a city. Looks like a fucking mobile game. But it's basically Star Fox.
Wait,
Imagine being excited for like the Batman or whatever, and you tune into DC fandom. They're like, "Hey, season 4 of Titans is coming out."
Okay,
And
hold on. I don't like any of the CW Arrowverse nonsense.
Yeah.
But in defense of it, that stuff is very lucrative and very popular. I
That's
think
fair.
what's good about DC fandom is that it gives DC fans who are constantly kicked in the mouth
Yeah.
who have a complex that they shouldn't have considering their movies still come out fucking constantly, so make a lot of money. Who really cares at that point? You're still gonna get your DC content. You don't got to worry about it. But
Mm-hmm.
what's wrong with having a day to celebrate that? The movies are in production hell, right? But DC is doing great otherwise. They dominate TV largely.
Yes.
I mean, the Disney Plus stuff is a Disney Plus stuff, but on cable television, DC dominates. On streaming,
Unfortunately, have you guys seen footage from the new Flash stuff?
no, I don't watch any of it because it's
Oh
nonsense.
god,
Oh, you mean like the
CGI and whatnot.
Yeah, God, that fucking
There
thing.
is
Here's
there
the
have
thing. It dominates because they just have so many projects, and I think
But
that's the
people
thing.
really like it. I just don't think it's fair to underplay that the
People
fact that a
really
lot
like
of this fandom stuff did appeal to people. I'm just not one of them because CW TV shows.
Abram, I'm going to assume that these things have been. I'm going to assume that these poor folks have been taken hostage by season 8 of the Flash, or he's fighting like 2003 level of CGI villains and stuff like that.
Stuff in these shows actually look like PS2 models. Like it's
looks
not funny.
If you're watching this video, pause this video, look up like the Flash season 8 fights or something like that, season 7 fights or something like that. Just look at it, just watch it, and come back
really
here
sad.
and confirm.
What
there
the
have been
fuck is this
massive
crypto
budget
game?
cuts to all this stuff.
It looks like a fucking mobile game.
Oh, he's looking at the crypto game.
It just tanked my computer's resources.
It's a spin-off of the DC League of It's a spin-off of the DC League of Super Pets, which, if you can believe it, is casting Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart as a comedic duo. What a fresh and brilliant take. Why hasn't anyone ever done this before? Big guy and little guy together in a movie? That's hilarious.
No, you're
Fuck
forgetting
me.
about Central
Okay,
Intelligence.
Aquaman, Static Shock, Blue Beetle, and Batgirl. Those were things that were all confirmed, that are happening.
You just
How
sped
about
through that
that?
so fast, I couldn't understand what you're saying.
Say them again, but slowly.
Aquaman,
Slower.
Yes, we know about that.
Static Shock, Blue Beetle, and Batgirl are all we got confirmed today.
Those weren't. Wait, those are all movies?
Yes, those are all presumed like HBO Max original movies, which is an interesting strategy as well.
Is that a good thing?
Yes.
Oh,
An HBO Max original movie.
How different is any of this really than say the Disney Plus shows? I mean, it's not like
No,
Yeah,
that's
that's a
true.
good
But
point.
also there is no precedent for it yet.
right.
And it is a
So
little bit well, yeah. I mean,
There
their
hasn't been like
shows.
a Marvel movie on Disney Plus, but the shows are essentially movies.
right,
I
there
see what
have
you're getting
been.
at.
They've just
Yeah,
released them in an hour and a half chunks every week.
yeah, that's fair. They're only like 50 minutes. Hey, scale it back. Let's be accurate here.
I am excited though, because here's the thing, right? I'm a big DC fan, but
Yeah,
how many fucking times am I going to get a Batman movie and a Superman movie? How
that's
many
fair.
times? And if the route is DC HBO Max, right?
Yeah,
And you can get a commensurate level of production value the way
hopefully, yeah.
Like Peacemaker to a Suicide Squad or whatever, then I'm all for it. Blue Beetle, Static Shock, Batwoman, fantastic. Those characters don't get. Actually, there was a CW Batwoman show. Forget about that.
Batgirl,
Still
Batgirl.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so back.
Yeah,
The point is, these characters don't get play anywhere,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So giving them this kind of showcase, I think is really exciting.
That's definitely true. I mean, I'm a big Blue Beetle fan. I think it's one of the more
Yeah, you
interesting.
Sorry, I was playing the Super Pets trailer out loud. That was an accident.
Well, no, you're certainly right. This is a fucking shit show.
Oh Christ! Should we get to our ranking? Does anyone else have anything to say about DC fandom?
There's
shitting
two
on it?
announcements I want to talk about that we didn't mention.
Oh,
There's
okay,
actually three.
okay.
First of all, there's a movie called Catwoman Hunted coming out, an
Oh,
animated film.
Animated one.
Oh,
Yeah, with Batwoman.
Um, and it's I hate to say this but I just don't have a better touchdown because I don't watch anime. But it's like Phantom Thieves, but with like Persona's Phantom Thieves, but with Catwoman. It looks pretty fun. It looks pretty charming. I might check it out. It's on HBO Max. It seems like,
Mhm.
unlike most of the garbage that DC puts out on the animated front, this looks outsourced and better.
Those animated movies are pretty well regarded, aren't they?
It's a roll of the dice. Apparently, the
Okay.
Injustice one is terrible. The
Oh.
Injustice one coming out is like stunningly terrible.
Abram, is one of the things you're gonna say the new Batman animated series?
Oh no, I forgot about that.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
trust Paul Dini as far as I can throw him
What
anymore.
about Bruce Timm? He's the guy who worked on it.
Yeah, but
He's
Bruce
doing
Timm
it.
and Paul Dini, it's like out of the beautiful mind of Paul Dini comes the fucking weird sex arc and the Killing Joke, you know?
That's fair. That's fair.
So like maybe it'll be good. I don't know. But
Okay.
the main things I wanted to talk about
Go
is
for it.
the Wonder Woman crossover comic series that's releasing that I'm interested in. Nothing to say on
Crossover
that
with
front,
what?
really. This was something.
What?
What?
Wait, what? No,
Wonder
actually,
Woman,
what?
Wonder Woman meets Archie.
No, it's she's like crossing over into different DC
Alf?
properties or whatever.
What? Wait, she's crossing over to other DC properties? Like, he's Wonder Woman
Like
meets
Justice
Superman. It's gonna be crazy.
How the fuck are you excited for this?
Because
You know nothing about it.
I like Wonder Woman comics, and it's gonna be a new Wonder Woman solo book where it crosses over into other things.
So it's not a solo book. This is fucking wild. I don't know what you're talking about. Also, I didn't even know. I honestly didn't know they did comic stuff.
No,
which
me
sounds
neither.
stupid, but I thought that was an external thing from Fandome. I had no. I don't hear anyone talk about DC comics.
The
I
last
can't remember the last time I knew that a DC Comics story was releasing.
the last piece of news I wanted to talk about, also Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 3 directed by Patty Jenkins.
Oh,
has been
yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah, that was confirmed a while ago, wasn't it?
It was confirmed a while ago.
It was confirmed in
Okay.
a way of like, hey, we have confidence in Wonder Woman 1984, so you should go see it and boost the box office numbers kind of way. It was a kind of confirmation where it's contingent on deals still, you know, the kind of
Yeah.
thing that like fades away. But
Yeah.
now it's confirmed. I don't know. I was talking to Tanner about this also. I don't know how you see it. Like a group of moneyed interests watched Wonder Woman 1984 and said we want more of this. To which
What-
Tanner said,
I think it was more of a people watched Wonder Woman 2017. They signed a contract for a trilogy, and then Wonder Woman 1984 came out.
and then I said I really like Wonder Woman 2017, but I think 1984 is incoherent.
Yes.
So anyway,
we all agree with that.
We all agree with that.
I
But
just wanted to give it a shout out.
Who are you? Yeah, who are you disagreeing with?
I also
there?
think this third
Oh,
Wonder
fuck.
Woman movie isn't going to come out until like 2027 because first of all we have to factor in DC's movie release schedule as well as the fact that Patty Jenkins has to make a Star Wars movie before this thing comes out.
Yeah.
So Christ alive, we're gonna have 3 children and a baby before we see this movie.
Wow, and a baby.
3 children and a baby.
Just let
Now,
somebody else write the movie. She's a very good director. She really understands these characters. I think Patty Jenkins is great. I just think that maybe Patty Jenkins should not be allowed to just write whatever she wants
That's fair.
for the script of her movie. But I think most people shouldn't be allowed to write whatever they want for the scripts of their movies.
Abram is anti-free speech. You heard it here first.
I'll stamp my name to that.
He hates artistic intent.
Okay, all right.
I'm trying to find.
Oh lord, this guy's still going.
I'm trying to find this Wonder Woman thing.
Okay.
In
the meantime, can we get to the goddamn ranking of these things?
Oh, we still have to do that. Okay.
That was the intent of this video, I guess.
That was the intent of this video. Well, we talked about all of them, and I think, as Tucker said, there's pretty clear tiers to all this stuff. So,
well, let's think about hype-wise, quality-wise, and then the content that they showed, because there's tiers for that. I think Batman fits all three very clearly.
Yep.
That's fucking triple S tier, whatever the fuck top regard you want to give it. As you go down, I think it's important to also weight not only how exciting they are, but as I said, how much they showed. Because when you go with the Flash, it's like that could be exciting, and that was probably my secondary excitement thing going in. But when I saw that, not only was the content not very interesting, they barely showed anything, even though the movie's releasing in a year or less. Like it's just kind of wild.
No, Tucker, I completely agree. And what I want to say is that Trial of the Amazons is DC's first Wonder Woman crossover in 30 years. DC Comics announced on Saturday that it's readying Wonder Woman for the first crossover event to spin out of the hero's main series since the early 1990s. A DC Fandome panel revealed that the Trial of the Amazons will rock DC's expanding Wonder Woman titles at a, quote, cosmic scale in 2022.
Crossover with what? With what? With what, I ask you?
What's the 90s one? What is that crossover with?
Fuck if I know.
He's got to do more research. Okay. I'll put like Aquaman. I'll put Aquaman at the bottom, quite honestly, because I didn't really like 2018 Aquaman, and they also didn't show anything for this new one, so that's bottom.
And that's
bottom
a
of the
base
barrel.
Take. I didn't really like that movie either, but I love Aquaman as a character, so hopefully this movie's better.
Tucker, do you agree with that?
That's fine. I didn't watch the thing.
Okay, fair enough.
Can I put Peacemaker at the bottom?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
But above that, maybe like Shazam. Would you put Shazam under Flash and Black Adam?
Yes. Shazam categorically had nothing to show other than
That's
BTS
true.
stuff. So
yes,
yeah.
And I don't mean the K-pop.
That is to be fair, that is also like the farthest out thing that we saw today. That's June of 2023. So
everything else is before that.
Everything else.
When's fucking Aquaman?
December 2022.
Holy Christ!
Yeah.
Wait, when's Black Adam?
Black Adam is July of 2022.
That movie's coming out in 8 months, and we didn't see a fucking trailer for it.
I believe so. Let me double check.
We saw a Batman trailer last year.
When's the Batman?
And the Flash is also
Batman.
Holy Christ!
The Batman is March 2022. The Flash is November of 2022.
When does the animated DC Pets movie come out?
That's also
hang on.
Yeah,
that's also in there. Hang on. May of 2022.
The Pets movie has a trailer coming next month, Tucker, just so you know. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Black Adam full trailer will probably be like early next year.
Fine.
Okay. Above Shazam, I will feel comfortable putting the Flash above Shazam.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll put the Flash and Black Adam sort of in the same grouping.
Well,
Black Adam
actually is exciting and interesting. Yeah.
Exactly. So Black Adam above Flash.
Yes.
And then Gotham Knights.
Yeah. Then the games.
Yeah, I'll put the games together there.
Okay.
I'd say probably Suicide Squad above Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you disagree.
That's fine.
Well, it's fucking 2 out of 3 here.
Yeah. Above that, Peacemaker?
Yes.
Yeah. Peacemaker and then Batman.
Definitely.
But where does Trial of the Amazons go?
Trial of the Amazons is in a league of its own, you know.
Yeah, League of Super Pets. You know what I'm saying?
That's all the way at the top because they could be crossing over.
Aaron,
with anything.
where's the crypto Star Fox game going?
The Adventures of Crypto and Ace. Excuse you, Tucker.
It was taking too many resources to load the page and record at the same time, so I only watched about 3 seconds of gameplay. But it certainly did look like an unreal shooter, so that's kind of cool.
It looked like a mobile game, as Tucker said.
It does. I mean, yes, it does look like a mobile game.
Yeah. DC Fandome, huh? They should stop doing these.
They really should. They really
just release the trailers. Who cares?
Does Marvel do anything like this?
No.
D23? But that's not like an all-day thing.
I would argue that Marvel's thing is equally disinteresting, but just in a different way. Where Kevin Feige comes up and he bebops on the stage and he tips his cap and he shows a big fucking PNG of a bunch of movies in the background.
At least he's not in a fucking 3D animated dome. The fact that they have an actual fucking dome and they like PNG Dwayne Johnson in the middle of it is so fucking stupid.
I love
that it's almost funny.
I love that they start so far out, so it's just
yes.
a vast escape of nothingness with a tiny little person.
And they've got a giant fucking JPEG of whatever they're about to talk about on the bottom. Holy fuck. Oh my god.
I really hope that Kevin Feige, to announce fucking Phase 12 or whatever, comes out in a low-cut black t-shirt with his jean vest and a choker on.
Hey guys, we're doing Captain Marvel 6.
The SJWs have finally taken over. We're confirming it today.
Oh lord. Stop doing DC fandoms. Whatever. I don't care. Or keep doing them. Make better stuff. Figure out which lane you want to go with at the movies. I know the DC executives watch this, so I'm glad that we're pitting this at the end of it.
Walter, give us a call. We'll give you advice.
Who's Walter?
Walter White.
Walter Hamada.
Whoa.
Actually, he might have gotten fired.
Probably. With all the whole horse shit going down over at DC.
Oh god.
We're gonna keep rolling. I was the one in charge of this video until someone
Abrams
does an
got
outro.
The stop button.
Oh yeah, that's right.